Roger Mayweather, the former world champion boxer from Grand Rapids who helped train his nephew, Floyd Mayweather Jr., died on Tuesday. He was 58 years old. We are saddened with the recent news of Roger Mayweather's passing, a statement from Mayweather Promotions said Tuesday. Our hearts go out to the Mayweather family, and we will keep you in our thoughts and prayers. We thank you all for the outpouring of love and support during this time. Roger's spirit lives on with us forever. Roger had a professional record of 59 fights, 59 and 13, from 1981 to 1999, which included a pair of fights with Julio Cesar Chavez. He won world championships in the super featherweight, light welterweight, and welterweight divisions, and his final title win came on March the 12th, 1997, against Carlos Miranda for the IBA welterweight title in Grand Rapids. Roger began training Floyd Jr. shortly after the latter turned professional following the 1996 Summer Olympics. Roger, then Floyd Sr., had hands in making Floyd Jr. one of the greatest defensive fighters of all time. Never short of an opinion in boxing or his nephew, Roger made headlines as the cornerman for Floyd Jr.'s fight against Zab Judah in Las Vegas in 2006. An intentional low blow from Judah incensed Roger, who climbed into the ring during the match to confront him. A melee ensued and Roger was ejected from ringside. He was fined $200,000 by the Nevada State Athletic Commission and suspended for a year. In recent years, Roger reportedly battled health issues. In 2015, Floyd Jr. said his uncle struggled with memory loss. He also suffered from diabetes. It's sad that he's only in his 50s, but it seems like he's an old man that's in his 80s, Floyd Jr. said in an interview. In 2016, Roger was reportedly missing in Las Vegas after being seen near the Mayweather Boxing Club. He was found safe and sound by the family next morning. So this report is basically done by the Detroit Free Press. I mean, I guess that kind of skims the surface of the man, Roger Mayweather. Now, he was the man who famously said, "You all don't know shit about boxing," and his words can never ring truer today. You know, I think the more we continue this boxing legacy, I think more people he will be right about saying they just don't know shit about boxing. A lot of these people that watch boxing today don't follow legacy. They're just for the moment, just for today. But Mayweather will tell you about fights long ago. And that's why I said people didn't know shit about boxing. You understand? Because he's talking about legacy there. He's talking about legends and fighters before him. You understand? And have a better awareness of the sport of boxing. So, but a lot of people remember Roger Mayweather for that statement and not really remember his boxing career. This is a guy who was a world champion in multiple weight divisions. He was a world championship fighter, fought the best, and then after that went and trained the best. One of the greatest fighters of our era, or any era, in terms of defensive wizardry. Roger Mayweather did a great job with Floyd. Did a fantastic job with Floyd. And so he must be given full credit for that. So, should be a Hall of Fame trainer, without a shadow of doubt in my mind. You could say he's one of the greatest trainers out there of all times. I would say so. Because his legacy of doing it over and over and over and over again, and his son winning fights over and over and over again. And I think the strategy, the way they box, you think about it. Roger Mayweather and Floyd Mayweather Sr., those two guys paved the way for what we had in Floyd. They were the genesis for Floyd. They were the gene for Floyd. They both could fight. But Floyd was the one who took what they did and went and mastered it. They were good fighters in their own right, but Floyd went on and mastered it. And for that, you've got to give Roger and Floyd Sr. props for that. They jointly have produced a phenomenal fighter. And much when Floyd retires, and maybe 5 to 10 years from now, people will look at Floyd like they often look at Lennox Lewis now. When Lennox Lewis was in his heyday, people were always disrespecting Lennox Lewis. Now, as Lennox is retired and time has gone on, and then the current crop of heavyweights, people have gone back and said, wow, Lennox was he's a really good fighter. I think the same will happen with Floyd. Give it time. But yeah, so, and think about this. How many fathers or even uncles have had somebody that's gone over and above them? You know, you look at father and son relationships in boxing. The father's a successful world champion, right? The son doesn't usually go on and do better. Well, Floyd trumped both of them. And that is something that's something that is, yeah, Floyd's getting his prop, but not in the way Floyd will get his props more so. I get what you're saying now, Danny Brown, but Floyd will get his props more so. Give it 5-10 years from now, he'll give his props more so. But then again, he might not, because there are legends we've got today in boxing in lower weight divisions that people really say, oh, he's a good fighter, but just kind of dismiss it and move on with it. I mean, look at guys like Marvin Hagler, when people had the nerve to say something like Gennady Golovkin would walk through Marvin Hagler. Golovkin wouldn't walk for John the Beast Mugabe. You know? You wouldn't walk for John the Beast Mugabe. I mean, he's getting backed up by Canelo. Imagine what John the Beast Mugabe would do to Golovkin. But anyway, that's another day and another topic. So, back to Roger Mayweather. If he's not inducted to the Hall of Fame, he should be inducted to the Hall of Fame. I think he's one of the greatest trainers of our era, for sure. The style that they had, they did it their way. They did their training system. They had it their way. They weren't looking to follow anybody else's pattern, or when people were mocking them for when they were doing all that pad. Remember, they were being mocked for doing all that pad work. Now everybody in the gym is trying to copy that. They've paved the way. The Mayweathers have paved the way to a new style of boxing trainer and a new way of thinking. You know, they really have revolutionized boxing in the sense that today, if you go in the gym and you're a trainer and you can't do if you can't do that, then people don't respect you. That most people don't respect you. Those who are in the sport of boxing that get boxing know that it's more to boxing than just being able to do flash pads. Do you understand? They know more. It's more than just flash pads. But these guys, and don't be fooled for 1 second, that was all that Floyd did was on the pads. That was for the cameras. Floyd did a lot more than that. I mean, at times I've seen Floyd just on the pad, on the heavy bag, just throwing the straight right hand over and over and over again. That's by tuition and being taught and being constantly spoken to over and over again until it becomes. And people like Roger Mayweather must be given so much credit for that. Really, so much credit for that. So for me, he's one of the greatest trainers that ever lived in boxing, for me, because he did it consistently, year in, year out, year in, year out. So I'll give him all the credit in the world for it. That style, the Mayweather style, the Mayweather brand, will be around, for as far as I'm concerned, probably forever, because of that style, that brand, that way. Mock it all you laugh at it all you want, but not only Mayweather also revolutionized the way fighters think about boxing as well, in terms of their contract. Everybody wants to make the money in a way that Floyd made that money. Do you understand? So Floyd's been a leader as a fighter. He's been a leader as a businessman. He might not be everybody's cup of tea as a role model, right? But you can be a role model but not get paid the way Floyd's getting paid. And, you know, they're prize fighters. As he said, we're prize fighters. So I want to get paid for the work I'm doing. So I credit that to Roger. I credit that to his father, Floyd, Sir Mayweather. So it's a sad loss to the sport of boxing. But I hope that he passed away with peace. And you know, an absolute legend. I'm calling Roger Mayweather a legend because that's what he deserves to be called. People get called legends for much less, and this guy produced a Hall of Fame great along with his father. Produced a Hall of Fame great, and that greatness does come from within in Floyd, but the trainers were there to cultivate that. So, great world champion, great uncle, and he's produced one of the greatest fighters in this era and potentially any other era. So we could argue, or Floyd could get beat by this body, or he could beat by that one. But in our era, certainly, he was head and shoulders above all the other fighters in the world today, and was an outstanding earner as well with it. So credit to the Mayweathers for that. And I'm thankful in some senses for them because of what they've done it their way, and their way has been successful. And even guys like Oscar De La Hoya went to Floyd Senior, Ricky Hatton went to Floyd Senior. So, you know, even Tunda Jai himself has said he went to the Mayweather gym and saw. They knew early on. Tunde knew early on how good the Mayweather technique was. Remember when Hatton was mocking it? He was mocking Floyd with the pad work and all that stuff. What's he doing now? What's he doing with Nathan Gorman? People usually mock things they don't understand until they find value to it, and and then after they find value to it, then they respect it. You say arguably the best fighter since Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, we argue over that because you got Roy Jones Jr., prime Roy Jones Jr. You know, some may question the opposition. He fought Hopkins, he fought Tony, Virgil. He fought a lot of good fighters. Roy went up to heavyweight. I don't know. I don't know who was better between Floyd and Roy. But I guess Roy's era didn't have as much Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff that Floyd had. So I guess Floyd was able to capitalize on Instagram and Facebook and all these things. And Roy was kind of coming to the end of his career. In his prime of his career, we weren't really on the Facebook and social media like the way Floyd is. You know, so that's something we need to take into consideration as well. Yeah, he did. What's up, Hamza? I hope you're well. Yeah, rest in peace, Roger. Yeah, Tunde openly admitted that years he would spend going to the Mayweather's gym and watching the Mayweathers, and he'd take fighters to the gym to watch and learn because they knew what they were looking at greatness, because they valued it. He valued it. He saw sense in it. All good, Hamza. I'm just sitting here giving a very quick tribute to Roger Mayweather and talking about his greatness, Floyd's father's greatness, and Floyd himself. From greatness can only come greatness. That's the way I look at it. So they were great in their own right as fighters, but Floyd took it to the next level. Yeah, that's about it, really. Rest in peace, Roger. All the best. And it's been a strange old kind of couple of weeks for Floyd. Of course, his ex-baby mama found dead, also in the car, and now this with Roger Mayweather. It's been a rough old time for Floyd. There's nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong with learning from a great. Totally agree with you there. Absolutely nothing wrong. I believe that myself. I believe it myself. And you know, the this when you're sitting down watching trainers train, and you know they're producing great stuff, you're just watching them training, what you're talking to them, and you're watching how they're working with a fighter. I tell you, it's one of the most amazing things. The little moments, the things they do that separate them from just your average, decent club trainer to being a legendary trainer. It's just the little intricate things, the little things you really wouldn't think about. They pick it up in a heartbeat, boom, like that. Split second, they pick it up. And it's hard to explain it. It's hard to explain it. When you watch some of your trainers work at their work, doing what they're doing, it's incredible. And Floyd must be given credit as well for not veering off and sticking to the game plan, not having to go back to the drawing board and just keep working, staying focused. Despite having the women and all the money, he was always focused. Always came into fights in immaculate shape. Do you know what I mean? So I think even when he came in overweight against Marquez, I think he did it because he could do it. But he's still in great shape though, not overweight. You know, great, great fighter. You know, those are the standards we need to be looking at in terms of fighters. Anyway, that's it for me. Rest in peace, Roger Mayweather.